When a community member reports a non-emergency concern with speeding vehicles in their neighborhood, what is the most effective communication approach for an officer to take during the initial interaction? A. Provide a written warning template and end the conversation quickly. B. Allow the resident to speak fully before summarizing key concerns back to them. C. Ask only closed-ended questions to guide the discussion efficiently. D. Explain that enforcement resources are limited and offer no follow-up. 2. During a field training session, a trainee struggles to apply the use of force continuum. What mentoring technique would best support adult learning? A. Reprimand the trainee immediately to reinforce discipline. B. Provide a real-world scenario and allow the trainee to verbalize decision-making steps. C. Increase the trainee's written assignments for correction. D. Reduce field exposure until the trainee improves independently. 3. When completing an incident report, what is the most accurate and compliant approach to documenting statements? A. Paraphrase witnesses so the report reads more smoothly. B. Record only details the officer personally observed. C. Capture direct quotes when relevant and clearly attribute them to speakers. D. Exclude emotional descriptions to shorten the report. 4. A police candidate observes a robbery scene with multiple witnesses giving conflicting accounts. What is the most effective evaluation method to determine reliability? A. Choose the version that matches physical evidence. B. Focus on the witness who appears most confident. C. Disregard all conflicting data and focus on camera footage only. D. Accept all testimony equally regardless of inconsistencies. 5. A training officer wants to teach new recruits how to conduct traffic stops safely. Which curriculum strategy is most effective? A. Deliver a long lecture with minimal interaction. B. Provide repetitive reading assignments on traffic law. C. Combine demonstration, guided practice, and immediate feedback. D. Allow trainees to practice independently without supervision. 6. During patrol, an officer encounters a distressed individual who appears confused and unable to answer questions clearly. What is the most appropriate communication method? A. Ask rapid-fire questions to obtain information quickly. Speak slowly, use simple language, and allow processing time. C. Warn the individual that non-compliance will result in arrest. D. Ignore the individual until they are calmer. 7. A trainee repeatedly forgets department radio codes. Which adult learning approach increases retention? A. Memorization through repeated reprimands. B. Pairing with a mentor who uses spaced repetition drills. C. Asking the trainee to create their own substitute codes. D. Eliminating radio communication responsibilities temporarily. 8. An officer must secure evidence from a burglary scene. Which action complies with standard evidence handling procedures? A. Allowing witnesses to point out items by touching them. B. Bagging items using proper gloves and labeling them immediately. C. Leaving evidence unbagged to avoid contamination. D. Writing the report before collecting evidence. 9. A community training seminar requires evaluating participants' understanding of crime prevention strategies. Which assessment method is most appropriate? A written quiz requiring simple recall only. B. A practical activity where participants apply strategies to scenarios. C. A verbal lecture without interaction. D. A survey measuring satisfaction rather than knowledge. 10. A recruit misinterprets a departmental policy regarding vehicle pursuits. What is the best mentoring response? A. Issue a failing evaluation without clarification. B. Review the policy line by line and have the recruit explain it back. C. Allow the recruit to ask another trainee for help. D. Move on to new content without addressing the misunderstanding. 11. An officer receives conflicting supervisor instructions during a shift. What is the most appropriate action? A. Follow the instructions of the highest-ranking supervisor. B. Ignore both instructions until clarified in writing. C. Follow whichever instruction is easiest to complete. D. Refuse both instructions until a memo is released. 12. A witness struggles to recall events during a statement. Which strategy best enhances recall while remaining legally compliant? A. Suggest possible details to help the witness remember. B. Ask leading questions to speed up the process. C. Use open-ended questions and allow silence when needed. D. Encourage the witness to guess missing information. 13. A police academy instructor wants to evaluate decision-making under stress. What method is most effective? A. An in-class multiple-choice quiz. B. A high-fidelity scenario requiring real-time decisions. C. A written essay describing stress management. D. A group discussion about stress experiences. 14. An officer responding to a domestic disturbance must communicate with both parties safely. Which approach is optimal? A. Keep both parties together to save time. B. Separate the parties and obtain independent accounts. C. Avoid questioning until backup arrives, regardless of scene safety. D. Focus only on the person who called 911. 15. A trainee improperly conducts a frisk by searching without reasonable suspicion. What is the correct instructional response? A. Praise the trainee for being proactive and thorough. B. Explain legal standards and role-play appropriate encounters. C. Assign additional reading without discussion. D. Ignore the error if no complaint is filed. 16. During an interview, an officer must build rapport quickly. Which technique is most effective? A. Immediately challenge inconsistencies in the story. B. Use respectful tone, active listening, and non-confrontational posture. C. Take over the conversation and dominate speaking time. D. Ask only yes or no questions. 17. A department implements a new reporting system. What is the best adult learning strategy for officer training? A. Provide a detailed manual only. B. Offer hands-on sessions with guided practice. C. Require officers to learn the system independently. D. Demonstrate the system once and end training. 18. During a vehicle stop, the driver appears nervous and reaches under the seat. What is the safest immediate response? A. Continue speaking normally and ignore the movement. B. Order the driver to stop moving and keep hands visible. C. Approach the vehicle more closely to observe. D. Arrest the driver immediately without assessment. 19. A supervisor must evaluate officer performance during crowd control training. What criterion is most appropriate? A. The officer's ability to follow lawful orders under pressure. B. The officer's popularity with peers. C. The officer's speed in completing tasks only. D. The officer's ability to avoid all confrontation. 20. A citizen accuses an officer of being disrespectful during a traffic stop. What is the most effective conflict resolution strategy? A. Dismiss the complaint as baseless. B. Allow the citizen to describe their experience fully before responding. C. Interrupt frequently to correct inaccuracies. D. Suggest the citizen file a complaint elsewhere. 21. Evidence must be transferred between officers. Which procedure ensures regulatory compliance? A. Hand evidence directly without documentation. B. Record each transfer in a clear chain of custody log. C. Allow supervisors to fill in logs later. D. Seal evidence only after the transfer. 22. A recruit freezes during scenario training. What mentoring strategies support skill development? A. Publicly criticize the recruit to motivate improvement. B. Conduct a pause, discuss decision options, and restart the scenario. C. Exclude the recruit from future scenarios. D. Move on without acknowledging the issue. 23. Which report writing principle best enhances clarity? A. Use long paragraphs with technical jargon. B. Use concise, objective, chronological statements. C. Remove all specific details to avoid confusion. D. Express personal opinions about involved parties. 24. An officer views body camera footage after an incident. Which purpose is most appropriate? A. To falsify details before writing a report. B. To verify accuracy and supplement memory. C. To justify actions that violate policy. D. To replace taking notes during the incident. 25. A training program requires measuring whether recruits can apply arrest law. Which evaluation method is most effective? A. Written true-false quiz only. B. Scenario-based assessment requiring lawful arrest decisions. C. Group lecture without testing. D. Handout summarizing law. 26. An officer must de-escalate a tense situation involving a frustrated store owner. Which communication skill is essential? A. Interrupting frequently to gain control. B. Acknowledging concerns and validating emotions. C. Using sarcasm to calm the situation. Matching the person's tone to appear relatable. 27. Recruits learning defensive tactics benefit most from which training method? A. Memorization without practice. B. Demonstration followed by supervised repetition. C. Written explanation of all movements. D. Observing but not participating. 28. A witness uses slang and unclear phrasing during a statement. What is the officer's best course? A. Rewrite statements into formal language without noting changes. B. Clarify meaning using follow-up questions and quote directly. C. Ignore unclear statements entirely. D. Ask the witness to speak properly. 29. During a pursuit review, what factor is most important? A. The officer's personal feelings during the pursuit. B. Compliance with pursuit policy and public safety considerations. C. Whether the suspect appeared dangerous. D. How fast the officer drove. 30. A learner struggles with legal terminology in academy classes. Which adult learning intervention is most effective? Memorization under time pressure. B. Visual aids and real-world examples. C. Reading definitions repeatedly without context. D. Skipping ahead to advanced topics.